Happy New Year. Pub Football with Miles and Jimmy. The first one we filmed in 2020. I think the other one only went up yesterday morning though.
It did, yes, it did.
It's ages now. Sorry they're a bit delayed. It's taken ages. Anyway, the first official Pub Football for 2020. I'm Miles, this is Jimmy. It's the show where we talk about the football. And yes, we're in the new year. We drink a couple of beers while we do it. Big games on New Year's Day. I'll run through the results quickly. First, Brighton drawing with Chelsea. A great equaliser from Jahanbakhsh. I think that's right.
You did better than I would have. So yeah.
Overhead kick, wonderful. Burnley losing at home 2-1 to what has been a relatively hapless Aston Villa. Newcastle losing 3-0 to Leicester City. Southampton somewhat upsetting Spurs. Great performance from Southampton, terrible from Spurs. 1-0 at St Mary's. And Watford beating Wolves 2-1 to maintain the fight back. We're going to have to start printing out a Premier League table because it's starting to get to a point now we need to know where teams are. Man City 2, Everton 1 later on in the day. Norwich drawing, unlucky. Crystal Palace equalising late on. Needed the win though, Norwich. And West Ham smashing Bournemouth 4-0. Late evening kickoff last night. A very happy Jimmy for once because Arsenal beat Man United at the Emirates 2-0 and it was very convincing. Start with Brighton Chelsea. Chelsea are capitulating slightly.
I don't disagree with that. I thought they were quite lucky against Arsenal last week. I didn't think they deserved to win the game.
Battered Spurs.
Yeah, exactly. Battered Spurs, poor against Arsenal, got away with it. And to be fair, they dominated, as you say, the match for probably about 60, 70 minutes. And the last 10 minutes, they're on the ropes. A fantastic overhead kick. Where's he come from?
I read on the BBC feed while it was on, was that there's a bit shinny.
Wayne Rooney's fully aware of what that is.
A bit shinny, but you take it.
That's huge, and by the end, they deserve to win it. They absolutely battering them towards the end. But fair play to Brighton, cracking result. Yeah. Proves that Chelsea are way too inconsistent at the moment, but they're still going to finish in top four.
Jahanbakhsh.
If I try to say that, I'll probably swear at you.
I think it's Jahanbakhsh.
He's Iraq.
He's been struggling, and all of a sudden he scored a couple in a couple of weeks.
2 very good goals.
Yeah,
out of
really
nowhere. I know he's bought for, I think, a fair amount of money as well, but he's done really well.
Shows that Brighton maybe have a little bit more depth than we thought they did.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, games have come thick and fast in the last week or so, and they've really dealt with it brilliantly.
Another point, that's all they need on the board.
They're not going down, let's be honest.
Especially when teams around them like Burnley are struggling so much. Aston Villa beating Burnley 2-1 at Turf Moor. Burnley recently have seemed to have been terrible in the first half and turning up in the second half. It happened again. They were terrible for the first 60 and then they pushed. Chris Wood scored, but Aston Villa should have had 3. The offside again, millimetres. Part of Wesley's heel in the build-up maybe was a bit offside by about a millimetre.
Ridiculous.
It should be naked eye. I think that if the lines come in, they shouldn't use them. A bit like in rugby when they do a forward pass. There's never lines to show.
Exactly. Yeah.
They just look at it and they go,
naked
can't
eye.
really tell,
Yeah.
we'll go with the original decision.
Benefit of the doubt for a striker.
Yeah.
I saw the best stat today that Burnley have had 2 shots on target in 3 games. That is horrific. Horrific.
So Burnley though.
And it just sums them up. They're just such a wayward side at the moment, aren't they? And
Phil Barsley there chopping trees in half.
that is huge for Villa. That is a massive result. And again, Grealish had a massive say in it. It'll be interesting what happens in January. I wouldn't be surprised if he buggers off, because I would.
Yeah, I know he won't. Hometown boy, captain of the club. I think he should.
It's mentioned
today.
However,
I don't think he will.
They get 17 mil. You could get a striker, another centre half, another midfielder.
God, he's what Spurs need.
Yeah.
So he can pick the ball up, take a player on, and put Harry Kane in.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
No,
like Dele Alli does it. Dele Alli isn't that type of player. He's in behind, little bits, little touches occasionally, but the way that Grealish can take the game by scruff of his neck.
He did quite well at Liverpool.
But now they've got Mini Minnow, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Minnow. They don't need him.
But I hope he stays. But great result for Villa.
Probably start for Man City at the moment.
Start for Arsenal. Start for
Probably start for Man City. Think about it. David Silva's had some injury problems. Foden doesn't seem to be fancied that much. He wouldn't put it past Grealish to go into one of those 3 in the middle role. Great point. Great win for Villa. This is the type of win that means they have a glimmer of hope of staying up.
It's that 2 wins in 3.
They're out of the relegation zone.
They need to just keep picking up points, and I hope they do.
Newcastle losing at home 3-0 against Leicester. The key talking point for Newcastle is that they had to go down to 10 men because of injuries, because Steve Bruce made a change at half time.
Yeah, they got absolutely ravaged by injuries. They were down to 10 men for about 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably a bit less than that, but even so, against a rampant Leicester side, that's difficult enough as it is.
Just James Maddison.
Oh, both of those, Maddison and Chowdhury's goals were absolutely beautiful.
Did you see Maddison's text exchange with his mum that he posted today? So Maddison's mum went, joke, "Great goal, son. You were a great goal, mate." He said, "Thanks, mum." And then she just goes, best of the year, that one. There he goes, you have to change your banter for next year.
But fair play to Leicester, obviously 2 defeats against the top 2 teams and they bounced back. 2 wins on the trot. And they look strong.
They're going to finish in the top 3.
They're going to be comfortable.
And maybe finish second, because they only have to play Man City and Liverpool once more each.
Apart from sort of Liverpool and Leicester, everyone else is very inconsistent. Man City again a little bit.
Yeah, Leicester lost to City and Liverpool, but no one else is getting near them at the moment.
Fair play to them.
Playing very, very well. A team not playing very well is Tottenham. Southampton 1, Tottenham 0. First things first, what a goal. Gascoigne-esque from Danny Ings.
He is on fire.
He should go to the Euros.
It's a long way away, but if he does this for another 4 or 5 months, then thoroughly deserves to.
Right now, you can't take Callum Wilson ahead of him, because he's not in the form that Danny Ings is in. You'd have to question Abraham ahead of him. Abraham's playing well in a good team. Danny Ings is banging them in.
If we had an England squad coming up in about 2 weeks' time, he'd be in it. For me, I think the next one is February, March.
I think he can keep, as long as he stays fit.
If he can stay fit and score goals.
So the thing about Danny Ings is when he's been fit, he's always scored in the Premier League. Even every time he really got a chance for Liverpool, he's probably scored. Great for Burnley. If he stays fit, he scores goals, and he will stay fit. Well, no, I'm not saying he will stay fit, but he will score goals this season.
And this is the reason why Southampton stay in the league. He'll score goals, and that's a massive difference compared to everyone else.
Yeah,
say Burnley 2 shots in 3 games. They're not going to go down, but they're a team that you think, do you know what? But yeah, Spurs were terrible. Absolutely horrifically bad.
Also, there's a VAR decision. Toby Alderweireld handled it in the box. I don't understand how someone blocking it like that. Yeah, he didn't move towards the ball to block it, just in that position.
It's handball, though, isn't it?
It's handball. Yeah. How can they take these offsides off for a millimetre when that's a clear handball and they won't overturn it? VAR. I would like it to stop. I'm done with it.
What do you make of Jose having a look at the old tactics?
That was great. Funny. That was funny. Jose looks at the tactics and then he says, "It was a fair booking. I was rude, but I was rude to an idiot." And that's just great. However, what's not great is the way Tottenham are playing. And one of the biggest worries for me is Tanguy Ndombele. He went off within 25 minutes. He got the 2nd top player rating for Spurs. Yeah, when I looked at some of the websites. Yeah, wow. He played fantastic. He played well in the first 25. He's a good player.
Great against Norwich. Brilliant against Norwich.
Just great on the ball. However, he's clearly not cut out for the Premier League. He can't keep up with it physically.
Yeah, I don't know if he's never had an underlying injury problem.
I just think he can't handle the physicality, because the thing is, he's good at retaining the ball. He takes it and he uses his body to move around players. But the thing about the English game is it's so quick, physical and so quick that, one, you're sprinting from end to end a lot more than you will in France.
Yeah.
2, players are getting up here. They're getting there closer, so you're getting more knocks on the ankles and the shins, around the legs. And he, for whatever reason, he's not made for the Premier League, and I'm really worried now because
I think it will come. I think he's just genuinely not fit at the moment, but I think you give him another sort of 2-3 weeks of just playing, I think he'll be all right.
But is he going to be able to play? That's the problem.
And Harry Kane got a hamstring injury.
And Harry Kane's now out as well, a hamstring injury. So Tottenham are really struggling. The only saving grace is it's January. I know that they've said there's nothing to spend.
You've got to go into the market.
We have to get a central midfielder and a holding central midfielder. So Tanguy Ndombele, he can get the ball, a bit like Moussa Dembele used to, but with someone next to him who can be that shield. You need a decent shield who's good on the ball. I think we're after a player in France or Portugal. I saw a rumour before, I can't remember what it was. We need someone, a winger. We're definitely linked with rescuing Thomas Lemar from Atletico Madrid.
Good signing.
Potentially on loan with an option to buy.
Arsenal sniffing around as well.
Desperate for a centre half. Jan Vertonghen's past it. And we need a right back and even potentially a left back. When Ben Davies is out at the moment, it's bad. It's really bad. Really bad. We will not finish in the top 4 this season unless we spend a decent amount and they hit the ground running and they're the right players. If they take a bit of time to bed in, it's going to be too little too late.
Top 4's top 4. It's not going to change. No, it's not going to change.
I think it's a team that you'll be happy with that might make it now. But this could be completely wild because the team they played against were pretty bad. Anyway, Watford 2, Wolves 1. Watford are now 2 points off safety.
And what is that now? 10 points from 12?
Yeah,
or is it? Yeah, he is flying. I'm so pleased for Watford.
10 men again.
They need to stop getting a man sent off. It's becoming a weekly
10
thing.
men again. Kabasele this week got sent off after Mariappa got sent off last week. They are just very good at the moment. They let Wolves back into it slightly, but luckily they were 2-0 up by the time.
No, I think they held out really well. They're defensively organised. They've got the quality going forward with Delafeu, Sarr and
Deeney's smashing it.
Yeah,
and
fantastic. They are going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
They will finish about 12 probably.
Yeah.
And
they did a bit like Palace that year when Pulis came in.
Yeah, exactly.
A bit like Leicester in the end under Pearson didn't actually finish like 17th. I'm sure they finished 15th, 16th.
They will be.
They're going to keep climbing. They will finish above Burnley. They'll finish above Bournemouth. They'll finish above Aston Villa. They might finish above Palace. They might finish above Newcastle. They could push up to 11th, 12th. You're completely right. As for Wolves, they'll be a bit disappointed, but this is the type of form that means Wolves aren't a top 14.
No, exactly.
They're
fine.
They're fine. They're a great side. They will beat a lot of the lower teams, but every so often, especially away from Molineux.
Against a well-organised and new manager Watford, they're going to come unstuck, unfortunately.
But that's literally the difference in them and being a top 4 side at this point, which I think Wolves fans will take all day.
Yeah, and they'll have a really good run in Europa League, which I think is quite important.
Yeah. And they can have an FA Cup run.
Yeah, exactly.
So they got to the semi-final last year.
Exactly.
We want to go one better. 5:30, Man City 2, Everton 1. First loss of the Carlo Ancelotti reign. They'd expect it. I don't think they'll be too gutted that they lost to City.
Yeah, City dominated obviously a lot of the ball, scored some very good goals. The first goal from Gabriel Jesus was great. To be fair, Everton came in it towards the end, and you did think at 2-1 with about 15 minutes to go, they got half a chance.
But that's good signs for Everton.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't give up. I thought Moise Keane played quite well.
I told you, Ancelotti, Italian, coming in, wanted him at Napoli.
Yeah.
Could work well because one, they're going to speak the same language.
Yeah.
Two, you can put an arm around his shoulder and say, "Hey, stick it out. We're going to changing the style to more Italian style tactics, which he thrived in at Juventus." And we forget this is a guy who scored in his Italy debut at the age of 17.
I just feel like Kevin De Bruyne driven City is quite a hard thing to stop.
There's only one team that can beat them, and that's Liverpool. Really.
Exactly.
When he's playing well,
you look back at it and go, they deserve to win. Unfortunately,
he's back in form. They did lose a couple with him in the team earlier in the season, but he had niggly injuries. He was coming in and out, but now he's
sensational.
Back. He's back and he's fantastic.
Yeah,
City won't win the league. City might only finish 3rd this season, but I think they've got their eyes on something with bigger ears.
Yeah,
much bigger ears.
Gary Lineker.
Gary Lineker. Norwich 1, Crystal Palace 1. Oh, Norwich again.
It's like
they should have won 3 in a row
on the trot where they've dropped points from a win position.
They should have won.
They battered Palace again. It's unbelievable. I feel really sorry for them because they play really good football. They're just not getting what they deserve at the moment.
Do you think the problem is, because it was a late goal from Crystal Palace, is the problem that they've not got it in them to shut up shop?
Well, I think also the 4 games in probably about 2 weeks will take its toll on the team where they've got a lot of injuries as it is.
But they don't, like, even against Spurs, they scored and they kept pressing and kept pressing and kept pressing. Yeah. Yes, you're only winning by 1, but sometimes you just got to think, you know what, we're a bit open at the back here. If you've got the pace of Zaha, you've got these Palace players who can get in behind, going the other way. You've got to sometimes think, you know what? Let's not push both the fullbacks up this time.
No, agreed.
We're down the left-hand side. The left fullback can go. Let's do old school football where the right fullback tucks in a bit.
No, it'll be that bit of inexperience that they'll look back on in the season and go, if we would have won 2-3 more games, we'd
beat Villa, beat Spurs.
Yeah. Beat Palace.
Yeah, because again,
they would have been in touch, and now they are struggling big time.
We know they're down. As for Palace, typical Palace result, really.
Good point. Really good point.
And
poor for long periods. And fair play to them.
Palace's form this season has just been consistent enough to be a mid-table Premier League side, and I tell you what, Palace fans will be delighted with that.
Yeah, at the start of the season, you would have pinpointed them as being very close to that relegation zone, and fair play to Roy Hodgson again, who just works miracles.
They're going to finish somewhere between 10th and 14th.
Yeah, fair play to them. I can't stand them, but they will eventually go down.
Well, you don't know. All it takes is a little injection of cash, and they're pushing up. That's all it takes in football.
Oh, yeah,
especially
100%.
when you got a stadium and a crowd and a fan base like Crystal Palace. You could try and make them more fashionable. You don't want to fall into the trap that Stoke fell into, trying to go too much the other way. But
or Stoke QPR, just buying anyone for the sake of it.
To be fair, the fan base is, the stadium sells past rock. The atmosphere is incredible. It rocks.
Yeah,
you can hear it. It's great. But so you can sell to a steady, solid Premier League player. You can sell that club to.
Yeah. Fair play to Palace. Fair play to Hodgson. Move on.
West Ham 4, Bournemouth 0. Now, David Moyes was going to come in to make it tight at the back, steady the ship, not make West Ham go 3-0 up in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
What a performance from West Ham. David Moyes maybe was the right manager to go for.
I don't like David Moyes, and I don't really like West Ham. Fair play to him. They're playing the best team to play in the Premier League at the moment, and that was an absolute... It was a win on a play.
Yeah.
Because Bournemouth are terrible.
Bournemouth are terrible. They've got injuries. But however,
fair play to West Ham. Haller scored an absolute beaut. And yeah, 1, 2, 3, 3-0 up at half time. It's done. We're done.
Bournemouth are in the relegation zone now.
Yes, this is a massive issue for Eddie Howe, whose stock is decreasing by the week at the moment.
Because they've never really, apart from the first season, been in a proper relegation scrap.
They've always just flirted but had enough.
Yeah, but this season's going to be the proper scrap. The first season, even then, you never really felt like they'd go down.
I was going to say, apart from obviously Norwich are rock bottom and they're done, I think apart from Bournemouth, Arsenal were probably the worst team in the league up until yesterday in terms of form, and now Bournemouth are in massive trouble. And they've got games coming up. I think they've got Newcastle or something next. They've got to win that game.
They have to.
They've got a nice little run where it's teams all around them, they've got to stop winning. But injuries taking their toll, they can't defend properly, they're like scoring.
No, they've got nothing.
What do you do?
Callum Wilson does score in spurts though. So if he has a run...
Yeah, agreed. They've got enough quality, but they are so poor at the moment. And going away to West Ham, you back yourself, and they got absolutely steamrolled.
Are you ready?
Yes, I can't.
Last night...
Oh, God, we're absolutely wonderful.
Arsenal 2, Man United 0. Everyone turned up. Ozil ran the most. Ozil's kilometres during the game was the highest on the pitch.
Now, I went to the Chelsea game, and there were signs in that first half. It was very similar to yesterday. We were absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And it was no different to that last night's game. We closed down, we pressed, we won the ball back. Ozil worked hard. We played well from the back. Torreira had a blinder. Xhaka's now not leaving because he had a blinder as well.
Torreira's only 23.
Yeah, he's young. And if he keeps winning the ball back and doing the simple things with it. But there's a massive difference. The crowd got behind everyone. It was great. It was great. Second half, we went off the boil again a little bit. But Man United were absolutely terrible.
They are bad, aren't they? Do you think that Ed Woodward and the Man United board are looking up there? And, I know they've got this project with Solskjaer. But are they looking down and just thinking... But then again, they did have the new manager bounce when Solskjaer came in as the interim manager. But they must be looking down at someone like Arteta and thinking, Solskjaer's not actually that good, is he?
No, they were awful. Like
Matic shouldn't be starting. Lingard shouldn't be starting. Lingard went through the entirety of 2019 without a goal contribution. Or assist.
He was, again, absolutely terrible yesterday. He did nothing. And there's just so many issues with that side. Like Pogba, again, he's supposedly injured. But is he injured? Is he just doing this to try and...
surgery, he's out for a month, which coincides with the entirety of January.
Yeah, it's just it just feels like he's trying to manoeuvre a move, isn't it?
Well, his agent has now said that Man United ruins players and it would have ruined even Maradona and Pele. But now, anything Raiola says sort of sucks.
He's a money man.
And he's a money man and he shouldn't be taken seriously.
He's got way too much power for his own good and he shouldn't have that power.
However... if that's come from Pogba and come from Pogba's people and gone to him, Pogba's agent, and then he's speaking out on behalf of Pogba without dropping the player in it, there's some serious concerns there. But Pogba hasn't been a great player for Man United. Pogba's never going to go down as one of Man United's greatest.
He had a spell last year where he scored a couple of goals, but that was pretty much it, wasn't it?
But here's the thing. Pogba's not done much more and not been much better for Man United than one Seba Veron was. He lasted a season.
I don't care about Man United. Arsenal were absolutely brilliant, and I'm so pleased.
Callum Chambers is out for the season,
which is a massive loss. But I've got to say, David Luiz had an absolute blinder last night.
Can he keep it up though? Because he's still got a mistake in him.
Oh, agreed. I think we might dip into the transfer market. I think it's probably quite a good idea. Kolasinac also went off with it again. It was absolutely brilliant in that first half. Yeah, all in all, I'm very, very excited about what we could potentially do. We are only 3 games in. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon and go, oh my God.
It's 1 win and it's against a very poor Man United.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, another team would have maybe exploited the chances they had, but to be fair, Man United had nothing.
However, if you play like you did last night, and you get a run together with the way Chelsea is stuttering, top 4's not out of the question. You're only 4 or 5 points off Spurs. That's 6 points back on Chelsea. And we're only halfway through the season.
I did before the game look at the league and go, Christ, if we lose this, we're about 5 above relegation. We might be in a relegation battle. We're not. We're miles better than that.
Liverpool, Sheffield United is on tonight, so we won't be previewing. Well, we won't be previewing that. We've already done it. We won't be reviewing it. Home win. But we'll review it when we start the previews for next week. FA Cup this weekend, so we'll be back on Monday or Tuesday. We'll figure out. I haven't looked at the scores, the fixtures for next week. Might be back midweek.
We'll be very honest. We don't really care about the FA Cup. We can do specials.
Not yet. Not yet. We care about the FA Cup when they get rid of the.
To be fair, I quite like the third round. It's quite interesting.
When they get rid of the guff. I'm sorry, once the guff goes from the FA Cup...
There's always that upset, mate.
Right.
There is always that upset.
There's one more thing I want to point out. Jimmy got a birthday Christmas present from the lady he's just started to see. I know, I'm surprised too.
It's not you. It's incredible.
Yeah, people just assume. The thing that's impressive about this is that you can't see it very well, she's actually engraved Pub Football and Jimmy into a pint glass.
She didn't fancy getting Miles one.
Really sentimental, really lovely, amazing gift. We have to say thank you. We won't name and shame, just in case it doesn't work out. So
Cheers,
we can
Mum.
just say it to other people. What did you get her?
Some chocolates.
And what is she?
She's vegan.
So she can't eat them. Brilliant. And that is how we're ending this episode
Happy
of
New
Pub
Year,
Football.
everyone.
Happy New Year. Cheers.
Cheers.